Thinking about tasting the flavor of a bright future? Wondering which scoop is best suited for you? Pause, think about it with intentional thought, and consider where we go from here. Stay tuned and hear what the dynamic, driven, and inspiring young entrepreneur Bernique Pople got to say about navigating her way to the sweet spot in her journey while accepting no excuses. Join our co-sponsors, Domdev Enterprises and Page Investment. Listen, ask your questions, because this young lady has a lot to offer for us to hear and know and learn from. Share. Let everybody know you're live. We'll be right back.
Something to think about with Dale Happy Knowles.
Welcome to Something to Think About with Dale Happy Knowles. What we think, we become. What we radiate, we attract. And what we imagine, we surely can achieve. Let's change the narrative 242. And today you see this bright young lady on the screen with me with this pretty colors on her shirt. You know, I could taste it now. Tasting. Oh my. You know, ice cream is my bestest friend. You know, next to a couple of other people, but you know how that go. So, welcome to the show, Bernique Pople, Lady Pople, Young Pople.
Thank you.
How you do?
Glad to be here. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. I'm sure you are. I am more than excited for you to be here with me and so forth on this blessed Tuesday evening.
Yeah.
So, Bernique, you're a very young person. In your 20s, early 20s, you graduated already from the University of I say Miami because that's my alma mater, but Bahamas, with a bachelor's in tourism, Bachelor of Science in tourism management, with honors, something that was very strange to me. I don't know what that is. You were actually top in your class, if I remember right, with majors receiving honoraries for outstanding academic achievements.
Yes.
Right, and you are now employed at Rosewood in the tourism industry.
Yes.
Right, but you also do a number of other things. And you have something here called the National Society of Leadership and Success. And you also dealt with the Organization of American States Scholarship recipient for the Gold Service Tourism Training Certificate. You got a grade A.
Yes.
A as in top? A?
Well, it was an A.
Okay. Yeah, and you were the youngest person selected to attend the second cohort of Academy for Women's Entrepreneurs by the United States Embassy.
Yes.
Wow. Man, that's plenty things, you know.
And also a proud member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
All
Shout out
right,
to
now
my sorors who's watching.
Yeah, plenty of them. Yeah,
Bye.
and that's where you got to do a lot of your community work.
Yes.
Mishkwa, Cornish, Monique Moss. I know Monique. So you go, girl. Yes, I see them. And Chandra Thompson, that's pastor, priest. Chan Thompson, you know. Anyway, welcome you all to the show today, and we wish you all the best in the show, that you can ask whatever questions you want to ask of this young bright star that we have on the screen today. And we will endeavor to answer them. Now, if I can get my screen to change, rest. And so, that's plenty excellences. Now, in my household, there wasn't too many excellences happening there. You know my boys and your big brothers, them, and so forth. But most of all, the excellence that I would say is that I am very proud of you, right? Knowing you from small right up, and now you're sitting almost on top of the world, well on your way in your journey to achieve all of the things that you wish to achieve in your career, whether it is on somebody's job or doing your own business. Very, very, very proud of you. So I tip my hat, which I don't have on, and I'll tip my hair then, let you know. Now,
Thank you.
I had nothing to do with none of that, right? I was just there looking. Everybody, some other people do some hard work with you. But maybe some of the looks rub off on you. I don't know. Or it rub off on me, one of the two from you. But how did you have a picture perfect childhood? Or you didn't have a picture perfect childhood. So how did you would have coped with that past, knowing that you had to bounce from house to house and so forth in the early days? Did that have any impact on you in your movements?
Well, something I actually thought about this morning as I entered the shower is it's a little slogan that says, there is struggle in the juggle. However,
Oh,
the
man.
struggle is always worth it.
Wow.
So, me being in between two homes really made me realize how different calibers of people think. So, everyone has their own opinions on how things should be done, as simple as washing the dishes, doing chores, the way homework is done, and honestly, even the way you sit and eat dinner, table
Yeah.
etiquette, all those things. So, it was a juggle. It was a struggle in the juggle. However, I must say it was worth it because I was able to be exposed to many points of views that made me who I am today. It was
Good.
more of like a on and off switch or like a seesaw. So you know what to do in this instance, you know what to do in the other instance. So it balanced out very well, especially in my teenage years. It was really worth it.
Awesome. So in that whole process, then you became a person who was very focused and very disciplined.
Yes.
What ignited that?
Well, the foundation that I had, mainly with my parents, my step parents, my aunts, my uncles, even down to my godparents and my much older friends, they really made sure that Bernique stayed on track.
Right.
Growing up as a child, must admit I did get easily distracted at times, but it it was worth it because I needed to get distracted to get back on track.
Right.
Sometimes the best things in life happen to us when we really fall short of things we should be concentrating on. Because, like, fall down, it takes three times more work to pull yourself back up. So, when you pull yourself back up, you want to keep yourself there. And then you always have that drive that says, I could do more. I want to do more. I want to achieve more. I want to not just make myself proud, but my supporters proud. So, I must say that my foundation really played a significant role in who I am today. And I appreciate each and every one of them for it. And they know themselves. So
Yes. Yes. There's some awesome people out there. Yeah.
they definitely know themselves.
Cool. So you said that do what you can while you can in this world with love, grace, and with passion. Where did that come from? What caused you to bond that thought?
Okay. Well, it was a self reflection quote actually that I came about during the COVID-19 pandemic, really.
Okay.
So I sat down and reflected on a lot of things that happened within that year. The fact that I was going out, doing classes virtually. Everything was shut down. I was furloughed from my second hotel job. And also, I lost a relative during the pandemic, well, the beginning part of the pandemic, that she really played a very influential part in my life. And I remember her always telling me, Bernique, you have to enjoy life. You have to embrace yourself. You have to embrace and cherish others. So I sat down one night and I was like, Bernique, it's important that you do what you can while you can in this world because no one's life is promised. I could be on call with you now and tomorrow I could be gone. So it's important that every step you take in life, you ensure that it's something worthwhile. So I always tell myself when I get up in the morning, Bernique, go out today and make someone smile, even if it's yourself. So it's important that we're there for each other because, persons fight battles that a lot of people don't know about. as you know, the pandemic also caused a lot of cases and suicide to rise. So it was like, okay, it's important to be there for not just yourself, but for others, because you don't know what other people are battling. And though with love and with grace and with passion, the Bible speaks to us about loving one another. The Bible speaks to us about how to love one another and the importance of loving one another. So it was like, okay, if I'm going to step out into this world and I'm going to be an entrepreneur, be a college student, be a hotel professional, be a tourism professional, be a soror, it was like, okay, I have to find a way to just show love. And it has to be done gracefully. You don't want no one to be like, oh, she is one roughneck gal. No,
Oh, gee.
no one trying to be a roughneck gal. So it's important that you exemplify grace with everything that you do, because then people will look back and be like, that was beautifully done. I like the way that she properly carried out what she had to do. And then with passion, anything in this world that is done or said, if it doesn't come from the heart, it's just not the person being who they actually are. So it's
Right.
important that we show passion in things that we do. Like you having your show, that is something you're passionate about. Me being in tourism and hospitality, all those casino workers working those late night shifts, all those butlers going out their way to serve people, it has to come from within. Because then when you're passionate about something, you're happy about it, and then you show love and grace to people around you who are supporting it. So it's like a 360.
Cool. That's some awesome stuff there. Now, you, how should I say it? In your age group, in high school and now a little bit more into the university, just wrapping up that and everything. Well, still phasing into it because I mean, you go to the next level and everything, but
Yeah,
masters and doctorates and whatever come above doctorate, I don't know.
certainly.
But when we look at all of that, a lot of young ladies get caught up with the Beyonce, Knowles, and then you have the other models, and everybody want to look like all these, and they want to be somebody else. But you found power in being you. How did you find that power, and what does that power make you feel like? How does that empower you?
Well, I must say that my relationship with God was the answer, still is the answer, and will forever be the answer.
Oh boy, you sounded preaching
I
now.
I journal a lot. I pray. I listen to music. And also, I watch motivational videos, listen to podcasts. And honestly, I have a set of friends who are like minded. So we always share ideas and, just be each other's support system in that social group. Because, even though you have your parents and aunts and uncles and godparents, there's nothing that feels better than having someone your age or nearer to your age who can completely relate to you.
Right.
So the support system really kept me going. And like I said, really just God. I'd always ask God to say, lead me and guide me in the direction. If God whisper in my ear and say, Bernique, get back in the gym, I got in the gym. If God whisper in my ear and say, Bernique, time to make a new flavor, I in the kitchen making a new flavor. So it was really just God guidance that kept me pushing and kept me focused on not just the things that I know I wanted to achieve, but also keeping focused on creating myself and who I wanted to be and who God wants me to be.
Right. Right. Cool. And so then when we talk about in your reflection statement where you say that love, grace, and passion, are you suggesting that those are the three key elements or three of the key elements that is needed for people to be successful?
Well, everyone's success is weighed differently. However, I must say that those three are like the base. So think about it as making ice cream. The base of ice cream is milk. So that's like the base of becoming you, meaning
Okay.
becoming who you are. So I always say that love is essential because you have to give yourself love. You have like that's important because God shows us love. So why can't we give it to ourselves so then we can outpour to other persons?
Right.
And then grace. Grace could mean a lot of things, but of course, in the case of a young woman, grace has to be a little bit more, I guess you could say, serious, because a lot of young women nowadays fall short of grace because they don't understand and don't, I'd want to say, they don't concentrate on their value. So, with a young woman in the society, if a female is out every night partying and all of that, society looks at them a little strange.
Right, right. I
But
know what you mean.
versus a young woman who is very focused on her goal and all of that, people is like, wow, like she is someone to look up to. She is inspiring. She's a role model. She is example of what a young, decent woman should be. A decent young woman, sorry, should be. So, and then with passion, as I stated earlier, if it's not coming from the heart, it's not the person. So it's
Yes.
important that you keep that passion, because that passion and that drive, listen, that is a serious thing, because you would be feeling like you won't be feeling like yourself some days, but because you have that passion inside of you, you will find that strength out of somewhere and you will get it done.
Right, right. Cool. So when we look at that, then, in terms of being able to filter out all the noise that was happening in the background, as you was growing up and then stepping up into the university level and joining your sisterhood and like, in filtering out all the extra noise in there, would that have been something that would have been focused on extremely developed from within, or something you inherited, or something that you had to nurture to be able to find that lane that you wanted to be in?
Well, actually, it's from all three aspects. It
Okay.
was a matter of observing, and then also, like I mentioned, having the foundation to really sit down and say, "Hey, Bernique, these are some things that we want to talk to you about, things that should change, things that should be done differently," and then also seeing it and experiencing it for yourself, for it to be like a slap in the face, like, "Okay,
Right.
Bernique, you're gonna do this so much better. How are you going to do this better so that this doesn't happen again?" So growing up, I must say I learned a lot of things, experimented a lot on a lot of things to really find the niche of Bernique. Things that Bernique would like, things that Bernique would actually enjoy, and also the way that Bernique should respond to things.
Yeah. So you mentioned podcasts and the like. So is it podcasts, books, friends? What would be that pillar that you would always, when things get a little fuzzy, you can draw back onto? We know God and the Bible and everything is there, but what what else is that person thing that somebody would, of you, that you would lean on, that you might want to encourage other people to lean on to?
Journaling.
Journaling? You mean
Yes.
like writing down everything you did for the day?
No, writing down what's inside of me, writing down how I
Oh.
feel about a lot of things, writing affirmations, all of those things, and then soothing music as well. So R&B is one of my favorite artists, or one of my favorite
I know
genres.
what you
Sorry,
mean.
and my favorite artist is Giveon. So Giveon's voice is so soothing. It's like, okay, I can listen to Giveon and write about how I feel about myself and my day, or how my week went, what I think should change. So writing is a form of self-reflection for me, because I don't just write and close the book. I write and read back. And I sit, I meditate, and I think about what could have been done differently and what more can I do.
Awesome. So, folks out there, you can ask all the questions that you want of this young lady here this evening, because there's a lot of knowledge in this little 20-year-old
22.
body. Yeah, I know you could say the age. A man can't say woman age. I don't know. They say that's bad luck or something. I know. But ask all the questions that you want to ask. And so we can get to in depth in terms of the product that you would have flipped over to, in terms of taste the flavor, but right after the break. But before we go to that, then, what else in terms of building that character for success, that those habits, those attributes that somebody needs to have in order to be successful, right? Whether it's in academics, whether it's in sports, whether it's in business, social, creative, whatever it is, there's certain attributes What what of the attributes that you feel was your wingman, as let me call it that, the people that you could have leaned on, those attributes that you know was going to be your driver, your strength to hold you up, to keep you going on this passionate journey that you want.
Well, for me, it was a sense of having structure simply
Okay.
because juggling full time work, full time school, full time personal responsibilities, and a full time business, it really took a lot of planning out of me. Like I would have like this board up top here. I
Right.
would have um stuff written on a board. I would walk with a plan and an agenda. I'd set reminders in my phone. So it's always important to have structure because then it lets things flow smoothly. Now, there will be days where it won't flow smoothly, but it's a matter
Right.
of remaining calm. So structure was definitely a thing. And like I said, just having that support system, having friends that are on the same mission as you, having family that you could go to, and also watching YouTube clips and listening to podcasts that help you structure yourself better on how to study within X, Y, and Z amount of minutes, how to balance your time, and then also incorporating exercise. So, because of course, you have to take care of yourself physically so that you can even do any of these things. So, workout routines and having a healthy diet was also something that I started to put in place as well, and it makes me feel better.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, though, you're not just stuck on one thing. You have a balance of multiple of things, and then some might be more. You're doing more of one thing than the other, but
Mm.
you have a blend that
Yes.
keeps you going. Yeah, that's awesome. But I think sometimes people lose track of that and they just get focused on the goal. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do it. And they just keep going and going and going and they burn themselves out. And I guess don't develop themselves. Right. So now, in terms of these other things that you might have been involved with, going through high school and university, any of those other things would you would have been wanting to develop in any greater light at this time, or at a later time you want to develop them?
I mean, I believe that everything's going to happen over time. I am a firm believer in just trusting what is next for me. And I know with God's help and direction, I will know what is to come. Presently, the goal is master's degree and just where I am planted. So that's what I'll be focused on. But if matters arise and there are opportunities, I will most certainly go after it because,
Right.
like all of my friends and family tell me, I am a go getter and I don't stop until I get it. So that will definitely be something that you will hear about from me.
Yes, yes. Larine says, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But ask your questions, people. Don't just, I mean, it's good to congratulate and boost up and everything, yeah, but there's some things out there that this is a young lady in front of me and doing some great things. And there's a lot of other young ladies doing it, but we need to highlight them all. So let us know and we'll try to highlight them too, and so forth. But ask the questions to see how her journey can help you or your friend or whoever out there who might need the help or some guidance or some inspiration. Now, tourism you found to be your love. How did you find that to be your love?
I love telling this story. So, initially, I started off the University of the Bahamas in the biochemistry program.
Wow, that's a big difference.
Yes. And let's just say that chemistry was not it. I'm sorry, it was not it. I salute the chemists and microbiologists and all those people, but it was not for Bernique. I'm sorry, no. So I accidentally walked in the wrong room one day on campus, and the room I walked in was Atlantis recruiting students for summer employment.
Right.
So I walked in just looking for an empty room to study, and the lady came up to me. Her name was Glendina Williams. I will never forget her. She could be watching this right now. And I walked and she was like, "Hi, are you here for the interview?" And I'm like, "Interview? What interview?" but I played along.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing was, I was wearing a polo shirt and joggers, so I definitely wasn't prepared for an interview. Neither did I have a resume. So
Mm-hmm.
I walked in and I sat down, and she was like, "You would be perfect for our kids club." I was like, "Okay, kids club at Atlantis, okay." And I got a phone call later that afternoon, actually. They called me in for a second interview, and 3 days later, they offered me the job.
Wow.
That
Right.
summer was 2018. I fell
Mm-hmm.
in love with tourism and hospitality, teaching the kids in the kids club more about the Bahamas, interacting with
Mm-hmm.
their parents, and what they would want to expect from host communities and businesses. And I was like, this is good. So I had a talk with my dad. Hi, Daddy, if you're watching this. He is watching this. And I was like, Daddy, I think I want to switch my major to like tourism hospitality. And he was like, you know what? I was like, yeah, I want to do
Yeah.
this. So,
I remember he didn't say it like that. I mean, he might say it to you like that, but anyway, we leave that like that.
so um, I did the process and switching over, and it was one of the best college-based decisions I've ever made.
Awesome.
So I went to having better grades at that, and it made me develop a passion for myself. I was able to go to class and be like, "Oh, I wonder what I'm going to learn about tourism today. How am I going to impact someone in my class today?" So it was a good decision with even a greater outcome because I was able to graduate top in my major. I secured a lot of amazing internships, one of which was United Airlines. I was their first international intern outside of the
Wow.
United States. So that was a big thing for them. I know in their mind they were also terrified probably because like if this girl messed up, this is going to be a huge problem. But shout out to my United crew. You guys are amazing. Um, and then I also did a second internship with the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism, Aviation, and Investments, where I met a lot of amazing people there as well. And then went
Cool.
on to get other job offers in other hotels, in which I did my impact there. And now here I am at Rosewood. So
Awesome. 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 Cool. So we're gonna start tapping into the actual business itself. And we're gonna ask a premature question here, because we haven't built up. Yes. But so Brittany Serenity says, what was your first step in developing your business?
well, Brittany. Hi, Brittany. How are you? Hope you had a great day. So, my first step actually in developing Taste the Flavor was understanding if people really wanted local, authentic, homemade ice cream. Um, just a little backstory on the business. It started from my grandmother, who taught me how to make ice cream from I was a child going to teen years, and we always made ice cream at the church fairs, and it was a big thing. The pandemic hit and people were locked down. People were also sad about not being able to do the things that they would have been able to do before. So I sat down and I was like, maybe ice cream, but like make this whole situation better. Plus, it was hot. It was hot. So one of the first things I did was market research, really understanding if this was a business that I would want to step into, and also just basic cost of ingredients to do different things. There is a cost for everything. And it's important that you know what you're getting yourself into before you actually go in it and it's like, oh my God, how am I going to keep up with this?
Right.
So it was really understanding the market and developing a plan.
Yeah. So now, when you say understanding the market, because a lot of people just think that they see a product and you build it and then you just put it out there and people are going to buy it, right? So what kind of things went into like understanding the market? Because
Well,
there's products that are needed, but they aren't. The people might not know that they need it. Right?
well, for the first thing really was knowing that ice cream is a universal product. Because at first I did narrow it down. I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to serve to middle-aged women between 35 and 55. But then I was like, no, that doesn't make sense because kids love ice cream, older folks love ice cream, men love ice cream. Like it's a universal thing. So
I
what
like
I
ice cream.
did, I incorporated flavors that included what any person who'd walk in a traditional ice cream store would purchase, but also added a Bahamian flavor to it. Hence why the name is taste the flavor.
This flavor, right?
So the local authentic flavors with the fruits like the sour sop, guava, mangoes. It reminds you of when you lived on the islands or probably went to visit in the summer. You pick sour sop and mangoes off the tree. So that also added a lot of authenticity to the brand. And it's been going really well. So I ate
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, you see, your brother asking a question here that is similar to the one I was going to ask. I was going to ask, what about it that do you identify with? But he's asking DJ Legend on the turntables for saying, when did you realize you were great? And he says, real belief, and you can do whatever you wanted to do.
Believe it or not, I recently discovered that about myself. I journaled the other night about 2 days after graduation, and I sat down and wrote out how I felt about my accomplishments. And then I closed the journal and I said out loud, Bernique, I am proud of you. You did it. And that's when I realized that, I'm really out here doing what God placed me on this earth to do. And it's
Right,
impacting not just myself and my family, but people I don't even know.
right.
And that's when I know that I'm out here doing great things. And I'm still keeping my mind on things that I want to continue to do. And
Yeah.
once I stay focused on that, it shall happen.
And then about you identifying with it, the tourism and the products and stuff, and because these are things that you love to do, obviously. And that's that, and sending you some
Hi,
love there.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Hi,
And then
Shelly.
Shelly said, and Mish, and I'm very proud of you. Yes, we all are, very much so. More love, more love. Anyway, so those two things, you basically, if when we don't identify with something, we don't drive towards it. And obviously, these two products, your business side and your work side in the tourism industry, you are very passionate about them and so forth. So, what is it about, or what is the compass that is causing you to drive in these directions? Everybody have a different drive. Something is there that is drawing you in that direction. That these are the things that you like. Do you know what that is,
Well, I wake up every
and how would you define that? Go ahead.
I wake up every morning and I strive to be better. I wake up every morning and I say that. And also, I love the way that I make people feel because it
Okay.
makes me feel amazing. Like my goal, like I said earlier, is to get up and make someone smile. And if I could go to work and make a guest smile or my colleague smile, that makes me feel warm inside. If I can make a customer smile by them enjoying the product or simply just me having really good customer service, that makes me feel warm inside. If I can message a friend 5 a.m. in the morning and say, good morning. Hope you have a great day. Remember that everything attached to you wins, and I'm here for you. I'm a phone call or text away, even though phone calls are better because I'm terrible at answering text messages. At least they know that I care about them, I think about them,
Right.
and it makes me feel warm inside. So the love that I outpour to people, it makes me feel warm knowing that okay, I am doing it and I'm doing it well.
Yes.
I always
Awesome.
get that love back. So
That's good. That's good. And I've always say from the Bible point of view, it seems that when you are at peace with yourself and when you're happy with yourself is when you're doing your purpose, and you will drive and do way more than what you really anticipated that you would ever do towards it in order to maintain that state. So, and the Jacqueline Pople Dungam says here, great show, happy, great guest, my dear niece, Bernique Pople. Keep up the great work. Stay grounded and focused with God as your guide and stay. He is faithful. So proud of you. Blessings continually, prayers continually.
thank
Now,
you and I
that's a
appreciate
special person for you. I'm sure she ain't gonna let you rest no how.
it.
Yeah, good people still.
Yeah, she's
You
good
know,
people.
China people, good peoples. So before we go to the break, this one question I have for you here would be in terms of you have your love in the work environment, and you have your business, which is the love that you grew up doing with your Grammy.
Mhm.
If you had to choose, do you think you would be able to choose at this point in time?
I'm choosing between.
Tourism and expanding. If let's say, okay, I'm the Shark Tank right now, and somebody's going to offer you $1 million to expand, taste the flavor, or you could stick in tourism, and they're going to make you chief director of tourism or whatever it is and stuff like that. Which one you think you are more passionate towards driving to? Don't worry,
Well,
that's not like too hard for you to read another thing. You
well,
say you journal or your thoughts, so I was just curious if that was one that you were thinking about. Yeah.
it was a slight thought, meaning it came in my mind and then it like just disappeared for a while.
Okay,
However,
good.
I have made up my mind that I'm going to incorporate tourism with my business, especially because there have been a significant number of tourists that have tried my product thanks to my hotel coworkers. So
Right.
it is something that I'm going to incorporate, and with God, all things are possible. So
There
who
you
knows?
go. Boom,
I
boom, boom.
never
You could do both. Yeah.
vowed anything.
Could do both. That's why I look at it. Do both. Do both. Yeah. Cool. Well, folks, you're listening to something to think about with Dale Happy Knowles, and we're here with Bernique Pople, the upstart, the bright, shiny star up on the pedestal right now, who's building her life, building her product, building the Bahamas through tourism. And when we get back, we're gonna start diving into this taste the flavor, so you could be able to taste it over the internet, and then you can rush and bombard her with orders for this flavor. So we'll be right back.
Sammy's Chicken. There's nothing like it.
Behind every scoop, lick, and savor is a smile and memory being made or reminisced. Whether you're at work, out with family on a Sunday, or have friends visiting, flavor will meet expectations in our 32-ounce container for only $10 if you're having a special event as well. Exotic flavors ranging from soursop to Guinness is definitely worthwhile.
Welcome back to Something to Think About with Dale Happy Knowles. And we're here with Bernique Pople.
Hello.
And what we're going to do is dive into talking to her about tasting the flavor for a bright future. Welcome back, Bernique.
Hello.
So, John D. Rockefeller says the road to happiness lies in two simple principles. Find what it is that interests you and that you can do well. And when you find it, put your whole soul into it. Every bit of energy and ambition and natural ability you have. I think that's a powerful thing that he says there. And I think you are one who are radiating that statement in your journey so far. Now you was on this roll, like you mentioned, and COVID come and whap and slow you down a little bit in one field, and you made an adjustment and create this new field that you have in taste the flavor. So how did that feel when COVID hit you and knocked you a little bit for a loop?
Well, for starters, adjusting to online school was sort of a pain because the professors I had at the time weren't as tech savvy at first. So we had to teach them a lot. And it took a little bit of my patience, especially in the beginning. But overall, it ended out pretty well. And then also being furloughed from the hotel, people always say hotel money is fast money. So it's like, okay, I going back to like not making fast money. Like, so it was a lot of financial adjustments and social adjustments because also being locked down, you weren't able to see your friends,
Right.
able to see your coworkers, and in some cases you couldn't even visit family. So it was a challenge. It took some adjusting for a few weeks, but the time that I had to myself made me realize more about myself. So I am grateful for the pandemic, honestly.
Awesome. And so in that time though, you found that you being you just wasn't gonna stay back and so you rose to the occasion and you created this business, Taste the Favor. So from that was created from something simple, as Rockefeller is saying, you got two simple principles. But when we look at that and you chose this from the business that is in your passion, because you did that make it developing that business easy, or was it still hard? Because a lot of people think that doing a business is hard, why they don't never
It
endeavor.
had it had its highs and its lows. The highs were that there was an easier transition because I was able to learn a lot from my Grammy, but the hard part of it was experimenting and also making sure that the word really gets out there. Social media, it was a very powerful tool, but running an ad on Facebook and actually getting customers and convincing
Right,
your customers that the product is actually good. At
right,
first, the first few weeks it was a tad bit challenging. However, because people saw soursop, it was like, okay, I like soursop. I like these type of things. It's probably good. And I'll never
right.
forget what a customer said. She specifically said to me, now, sweetie, I only getting this because I see soursop and I not soursop in years. Up to this day, that lady is one of my most loyal customers ever. So, people, it piqued their interest. So it was more of like, okay, soursop, I had it in a long time. This probably good. Versus soursop, I don't know. This
Right,
one little ice cream is with pop out of nowhere. Like, but it was because the flavors are so diverse. Like I have sauce up for the more mature group.
right.
I have cookies and cream for the kiddies, and then bubble gum for the kiddies, and then I also flipped the switch a little bit and added Vitamalls and Guinness and stuff. It
Right,
allowed everyone to have a taste of their own personal flavor.
right.
You have people that like out of the box flavors like the Guinness and Vitamall, then you have those that pretty much stick to the basic traditions like the rum raisins and butter pecan and the mint chip. And then you have some that really like authentic, rich Bahamian products. So it was always the fruity flavors for them, like the mangoes and the guavas, the bananas, the cherries, the
Right.
pineapples. Yeah. And then, of
Sugar
course,
apple?
tapping in, I will wink on that one.
Okay, okay.
And then tapping into the vegan market, that was something that was a little bit of a challenge for me because when it comes down to texture, I take the texture of my products very seriously.
Okay.
So if I feel as if it's not to the standard of the texture of taste and flavor products across the board, it is definitely a no. And it has resulted in a lot of wasted inventory, but trial and error, that's what a
Right.
business is all about. And trial and error is also worth it because the more you practice something, the more you perfect it.
Right. Awesome. So Guinness is a big seller, I would think, because I mean everybody in the Bahamas like Guinness. I mean, at least a man. Yeah.
Yeah, the male market, I have some male friends. They love the Guinness ice cream. Like that's the only thing they actually buy from me. So it it gets its sales. It does. And then I have a very loyal customer of mine who craves the Vitamalt. Like her and her family fight over the Vitamalt ice cream and also request pecans in their Vitamalt ice cream.
Right. Right. Well,
So
I have one for you, but I can tell you that one on the side because I don't want nobody steal your thunder. We're gonna be a big one. I think it's
right.
gonna be huge if you were able to find a way to develop that. That
Okay.
one what I thinking about. So we can talk about that one.
Definitely.
Right.
I'm always open to ideas.
Yeah. So basically, because you would have done what you were doing, it was easy to flow into the process, the transition, and so forth. But you mentioned now this you come that's about 6 or 7 flavors right there. So how easy is it or how hard is it to maintain such a diverse product base, being a startup? Or
Well,
you're not a startup no more. You're already over to no, them Apple and Samsung them level.
not yet. But in God's timing and with
Oh
hard
yeah,
work
yeah,
and
yeah.
parents, I will definitely get there. Um, it takes a lot of trial and error, like I said, doing different samples, really tasting out what people would want. Um, but as it stands, all of the flavors that I do have available is what is made and sold. There are flavors that do sell more, and which of course I would make more, but there are options available for customers. So I
Okay.
told the business and myself a few I'd say a few months ago to not limit what customers would be open to. I was a bit shy on making the Vitamalt ice cream, I must say, because I was like, Vitamalt ice cream? I don't know. What is a hit? So, you have those customers, like I say, they come for the Vitamalt, and you have some that would look at the Vitamalt like, why are you even making Vitamalt ice cream? And they're like, give me the rum raisin. So, you have it allows customers to really have options, and the more you have options for your customers, you are making more money because then that's a sale.
So we had the question earlier about what was the first step, right? But really and truly now, there's multiple steps before you get to the first product out to the customer, right?
Hmm.
In those steps, what of those steps would you say you could lend the biggest advice to people out there who's trying to start a business in the retail, in the step of business, in the food products business?
It's very important to know and understand your cost for an item. And believe it or not, I learned this the hard way. Especially my first few months of starting and then like really getting into it and really understanding the ins and outs of a business, the way to save more money in producing a product. Shop wholesale.
Yeah.
Shop wholesale. Like that is it. That is all. And do a lot of shopping, meaning shop around. If you could get something cheaper at one place, get it from that place. And if you have to drive all the way across town to get it at the next another item at another place for cheaper, do that too. Because even though that you may be in my mind gas, it's still going to be worth it because of quantity, one, and in quality, and in price.
Right.
And then also experimenting with different bases for products and different local sources for products.
Yeah. So that man from who started McDonald's, Ray Kroc, was talking about duplication being a critical multiplier for that type of business. What will you see is the multiplier for you in this taste the flavor business? What would help you because there's only but so much hands you have yourself. right? And so what spur on the additional customers and the greater volume and to be able to do at higher rates than what you would normally do it?
The story.
The story?
Yeah. Believe it or not, it's the story. People love
Okay.
to hear touching stories about how great things come about. And also to know that my grandmother is indeed still alive and eavesdropping at the moment while I'm in my room doing this. To know that she's alive and is present to see how something so small became something so big. People are proud to talk about it and proud to support something like that,
Right.
especially the tourists. They say like, "Oh, her granny taught her how to make this." But she said she's good, and they're like, "This is good." So, yeah.
No, that's awesome stuff, yeah. So Andy is here saying again, said, talk about the American Embassy Empowerment Training Program opportunities for the young entrepreneurs, other opportunities for small, medium businesses, grants and growth, etc. That's for
Okay,
you.
so the all program, the Academy of Women Entrepreneurs, it was an interesting 14 weeks. I also juggled the all program while doing my internship at United Airlines.
Okay.
So sessions were done in the evenings, and then we had to do a full-fledged business plan and a pitch competition and present the pitch to a board of investors, and they selected who they were going to select. So, of course, it was more than the persons in the program who they could have actually sponsored. So they limited down to
Right.
five. And it still allowed other opportunities for persons within the program to bloom. So, because of me being in the program and the persons within my group and cohort, I was able to connect with other persons who wanted to help me expand my business, providing a more developed business plan and helping me find cheaper machinery and equipment and
Right.
supplies and shipment. And also to know, like I said, it's important to have the same persons around you that are like minded. And that's when this program also allows us to network. And it was an excellent program. I would suggest anyone to go after it. And it was free. So why not?
Cool. And they would just contact, I guess, the embassy or the what was it, the American states, whoever, to get involved in it.
Well, it's an
Or you have to be
application.
recommended.
It's
Yeah.
an application process that you fill out,
Okay.
and you have to do a quick video of yourself explaining. They're going to ask you a series of questions, and you answer the questions. They feel as if your answers are appropriate enough, they read your profile, background, all of that, then they send you a congratulatory email stating that you have been selected to be a part of the cohort. Congratulations. But a
Right.
lot of things about it are also kept strictly confidential
Right.
until the third cohort comes around or the second
Okay.
cohort is done and graduation is made public, and you get to also share your success stories publicly. So if you
Right.
go on the US Embassy's page, you will see a number of success stories, such as mine as well, which is there.
Yeah. That's awesome stuff. Yeah. But one of the things that I was thinking in the whole thing that you were talking just now is, I always say that you have to, for success, you have to know what you want and you have to know what you're willing to sacrifice and then know some people who are willing and able to help you get there and then to create a plan to get there. So those four major things are the fundamental things to do it. So sacrifice is a big thing in there that Bahamians tend not to want to do. We want to get to success, but we don't want to do. You said you were doing 2 and 3 things at the same time, right? So that obviously to me things that you sacrifice some things in order to do that.
Yeah, I did. Social
So it
sacrifices was one.
okay.
Definitely social sacrifices. I sacrifice a lot of sleep too.
Sweet?
And sleep,
Sleep.
sleep.
Okay, sleep.
And then also doing some basic things that I would enjoy doing. Like I couldn't binge watch my Netflix shows anymore because I had to work on a lot of other things. So those they were some challenges I had along the way, but in the end I was able to find a balance. And then like when it was all said and done, I was like, okay, I could breathe for like 2 days and then get back at it.
Awesome, awesome. So now in choosing, like we say, from your childhood passion, has this taught you, or what has it taught you in terms of choosing your childhood passion to in your pursuits? Because you said in tourism, you love tourism because it brings you a sense of self fulfillment and the like, right? And so that means that came from above. And then in the taste of flavor, you get that primary from your Grammy and your relationship with your Grammy and making ice cream as a small. And so you were passionate about that. You love that as a relationship. I don't know if you were more passionate about ice cream or passionate about being with your Grammy, or it might have been a combination of the three, right? Kind of thing. Right. So when we look at that, would you say then that you finding your passion is more critical than what it is that you're actually doing, that you're doing in your passion, that you found the passion, that the thing that you're passionate about, that you find that you do that is more important than anything else related to what you want to be successful in? Yes, I'll get to that in a second.
Well, I always believe that passion always produces success. Because once you are passionate about anything, you are going to keep at it, and doors just open for you. Because one, God sees that you're working. Two, you're working, and you're impacting people, which means there's results. And the world is yours at that point. Like, it's really just a matter of keeping your passion that fuels your drive. And once you just keep going, life happens. And when you turn around, it's like, wow, I didn't even realize I was doing so much until like you reading about your own success and you sitting down
Right.
reflecting on it. So I would say that my passion just for people and also making people feel good allowed me to go into tourism, go into my business because I have a product that makes people feel better.
Right.
They say ice cream really makes people feel better. When
I
people
know it too well.
they eat ice cream. So to know that, I'm in a field where I make tourists enjoy what it's like being in the Bahamas. And then I leave that job and I come home and I work on how I can allow the local communities as well as tourists again to experience what is it to feel a sense of home because the brand Taste of Flavor focuses on authenticity of Bahamian culture and also authentic, unique Bahamian products. So if I'm producing a product that makes someone feel good and also makes them feel like home as they reflect on home, then why not? So it's like me going around in a circle.
No, 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 no. So Diane Fortune says that congratulations from the Butler team and Rosewood Bahama family. We are so proud of you, Sata and
Satar.
team. Sata and team, yeah.
Thank
Blue,
you,
white,
Diana.
and purple hearts.
Shout
And
out
then
to the
clap.
Rosewood family. Love you guys.
Yeah. Boy, I've been seeing some good things happening from there of late too. So, and then Michelle Stein says, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff. Awesome. So, in all your experiences now, what challenges do you love about running a business?
Learning something new every day.
Cool. It's a great
And
one.
that is as far as learning how to make ice cream faster because it is a tedious process. Learning that there are access to different ways to get one funding, machinery, and simple ingredients, and also sitting down learning how to reach the market in a different way. So I'm now diving into using social media more, especially on TikTok. So stay tuned for some Instagram reels and TikToks, but
You
with
gotta
a
send them
twist,
to me.
not the traditional like TikToks that what people do. So it's making sure that you learn something new every day, but you try to be different while you're learning that
Right.
because
It's
different
awesome.
stands out. So why not be different?
Yeah. So now going back to Devon's question, in somewhat in terms of when you are choosing to do, well, not when you're choosing, but while you're doing these activities, and particularly in the creating the ice cream and the like, and he said, when did you realize you were great and so forth. But this whole process, knowing from where you came, and I would say a little bit of the confusion that would have been about, which is mainly what children go through anyway, because I know I've been through plenty of confusion, me. So, but to where you are now at only 22 and being so sound based and, as some people say, grounded and understand where you want to go and what you can do. Do you see there is anything out there that human people can't do,
I believe that
particularly the youth? Yeah.
I believe that any young person can do anything that they put their mind to. There shouldn't be any limitations on success because we all have a purpose in this world and we all have to fulfill that purpose. And once you have a passion and drive for something, just gotta keep going. Get started, keep going, stay focused, ask God for guidance. If you need help, ask. I can't say this again.
Right.
People, if you're watching and you need help, ask. Because there's help out there. And it's good to ask for help because one, that's an additional form of support and you get to learn something from that help because
Right.
I don't think I know it all. There's a lot I'm still learning and I'm always open to advice and ways that I could do things differently, not just as an entrepreneur, but as a human.
Right.
So you never stop learning in this world.
Cool. And I got one more question. Well, maybe two. One more question for you.
Okay.
Before I ask you a bigger question, but in terms of the confidence and in the future, do you see where you can help others, young people, become successful?
Yes, I do. So very soon, I won't say when exactly, I
Okay.
will be joining an organization that focuses on public speaking.
Oh,
And
okay.
my aim is to, go out and do public speaking in youth organizations and schools just to empower persons to be the best version of themselves and to be focused on what is it that they want to focus on. And like I said, my goal in this world is to always inspire and influence people. And I feel as if that's a calling that I have, and I'm going to go after it.
Awesome, awesome. And then the second piece of the question that I was going to ask you would be, besides the next steps that you already touched on, what do you see that the private sector or the government or the academia can add that will help uplift our youth and let them be able to find themselves as you have found yourself? I mean, you have a good support base and family, friends, etc., who would have helped you along the way. But what do you see out there based on your walk and your experience as to going through the systems of high school and university and actually in the private sector and in development? What do you see people can do in those three areas to complement what is being done today?
Well, one thing I always say, and this is important, is access to resources. And that is because globalization is taking it's top tier, it's in charge, and it's important that the future generations are able to sustain themselves with what they have in mind on doing as they grow older. So in order for that to happen, we must have access to resources, whether that's natural resources
Right.
and economical resources, financial resources, because the world is also getting more expensive. And if we don't have access to these things, we're pretty much stuck in the olden days when the world is already in the new day. So it's
Right.
important that there are resources readily available for each and every one of us so that we can sustain ourselves.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So now I ask you plenty questions. Not necessarily of me, but what would you like to say to the general public out there?
Be who God called you to be. Remember that it is important to smile because someone needs it. And stay focused, stay true to God, stay true to yourself, and the rest will follow.
Awesome, awesome stuff. Do you know that when people smile at you, that it's a natural reflex that you cannot deny smiling back, and that
Exactly.
could change your whole mood,
Exactly.
the change the other person's whole mood.
Exactly.
Cool. Daniel Knowles here says, excellent show. That's
Thank
your buddy.
you.
Yeah. Cool. And then Nicole Gray, a big congratulations to Bernique. It is so good to see a young entrepreneur be successful.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Madam Producer, I don't know if there's any more, but Madam Pople says, what do you see for the future of our beloved Bahamas as we prepare for 50 years? Wow, 50 years? Yeah.
Wow.
That's your auntie asking the question to you.
And Jackie, my one answer, simple answer, a sustainable future.
Sustainable.
We must protect the resources. We must protect each other. We must protect the environment. Because without preserving the environment and without preserving our people, the Bahamas is just flat. And with tourism being the main industry, it's important that we really do take care of these things because that is how we capitalize, especially with heritage and environmental attributes such as the beach and the blue holes and the coral reefs. It is really important that we take care and appreciate what we have. And it's up to us as local communities to do so.
Yeah. But you know, I think tourism, I think the Bahamas is in a bright space, in a bright place. The future is going to be very bright because we got people like you and a lot of other young persons who are coming along. Last week we had on more young people on the show, artists maybe been in Canada, but still, you know, and across the board. And we want to highlight all of you. So anybody out there knows the people who feel should be highlighted, inbox us, let us know, and we will be sure to review and see where the person's on. But Bernique, we really appreciate all the nuggets that you drop here today, because I know you will be figuring out when I call you, it's like, what? No, what do you want to talk to me about? You know, you think I was trying to put you in to chastise you for something, but no. We are very proud of you. Don't mind. I think you heard the word proud today for about 20,000 people. And it is very true, because if when you write your book or your story or your movie, when you do it in time, I'm sure that can be a bestseller, and people will be at your footstep all of the time. Just keep on going where you're going, and
Thank
keep
you.
God where you want. You say you keep God, and you'll be straight.
Thank you.
And
And
don't mind me and your dad. Don't worry about us. You just keep doing what you're doing. Yeah.
yes, thank you. And I appreciate all of the supporters I've had over the years. Without you, it would have been even a harder journey. And sometimes even brings tears to my eyes knowing that the people who really cheered for me, I'm out here now making them proud, including myself.
Well, that's the key right there. You have to do that too. And the man upstairs.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he's the head honcho.
Cool.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, folks. Thanks everybody out there on social media for listening this evening. I hope you found value in the show, and if you did, be sure to subscribe and share with all. We don't take the videos down; they're always available for people to watch, and so forth. Stay safe and be kind to everybody. Smile, whatever you do, smile.
Smile.
Just smile.
Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome, Madam Producer.
Enjoyed the show? Then subscribe to us for more educational and inspirational content. Ring the bell so you never miss a show. Let's change the narrative 242